I'm 82. The years between 65 and 75 were the hardest part of my life. Here's what I wish I knew earlier. Good morning, my friends. I'm 82 years old now, and after everything I have experienced, there is one thing I wish someone had told me before I turned 65. I thought retirement would be the easiest chapter of my life. I thought the hardest battles were already behind me. But what I discovered was that the years between 65 and 75 brought some of the biggest changes I had ever faced. Not because life became worse. In many ways, those years brought more freedom, more wisdom, and more appreciation for the little things. But they also brought challenges that nobody really prepared me for. Your body begins to respond differently. Your routines change. Your sense of purpose can shift. Things that once felt automatic suddenly require more attention and care. And the truth is, many people struggle during this decade because they do not understand what is happening. Today, I want to share 6 challenges that I believe every person should know about when entering their late 60s and early 70s. These are lessons I learned through my own experiences, through watching friends grow older, and through seeing what separates those who continue to live with strength and independence from those who slowly lose it. The first challenge is something that surprises many retirees: losing a sense of identity. For many years, your life has a clear structure. You wake up because you have somewhere to be. You solve problems. You make decisions. People depend on you. Your experience matters. Your knowledge has a place. Then suddenly, one day, that structure disappears. The phone stops ringing as often. The meetings end. The responsibilities become lighter. Your children may have their own families and their own busy lives. You finally have free time, but nobody tells you that too much empty time can sometimes feel uncomfortable. I remember when my neighbor Frank retired after almost 40 years as a business owner. Everyone congratulated him. They told him how lucky he was. But a few months later, I noticed something different. Frank was still the same intelligent man, but he seemed quieter. He stopped going out. He stopped sharing his opinions. He started saying things like, "I don't really have a reason to wake up early anymore." That sentence stayed with me, because retirement does not only remove a job, sometimes it removes a role we spent decades building. The mistake many people make is thinking retirement means stopping. But retirement should not mean becoming invisible. It should mean choosing a new mission. At this stage of life, you need something that challenges your mind and gives your days meaning. It could be learning a language, teaching someone a skill, helping your community, joining a group, creating something, or simply becoming a person who continues to grow. Your brain and your spirit both need a reason to stay engaged. I learned this myself in my 70s. I started writing down memories from my life. At first, I thought nobody would care about my stories, but the process changed me. It made me think deeply. It helped me organize my experiences. It reminded me that my life still had value. The second challenge during the years between 65 and 75 is protecting your physical strength. When we are young, we rarely think about maintaining muscle. Strength feels automatic. You carry groceries, climb stairs, walk long distances, and get up from a chair without thinking twice. But after 65, strength becomes something you have to protect. One of the biggest mistakes I see older people make is assuming that losing strength is simply a normal part of aging. Some changes are normal, yes, but becoming weak and losing independence is not something we should accept without a fight. I learned this lesson after watching an old friend of mine struggle after a simple fall. He was 72 years old and had always been active, but during his retirement, he became less active. He spent more time sitting, watching television, and resting because he thought he had earned it. And he had earned rest. But he also needed movement. After his fall, he told me something I will never forget. He said, "I didn't lose my independence because I got old. I lost it because I stopped preparing my body for life." That was a powerful realization. Your muscles are not only about looking strong, they are about protecting your future. Strong legs help you stand up. Strong muscles help you recover after illness. Strength helps you remain in control of your own life. The solution is not complicated. You do not need to become an athlete. You need consistency. Walk regularly. Lift something safely. Practice balance. Use your body every day. Eat enough nourishing food. Give your muscles a reason to stay. The third challenge is something I call the silent energy drain. Many people between 65 and 75 say the same thing. I'm sleeping, but I don't feel refreshed. They wonder why they have less energy than before. They blame age, but sometimes the real issue is that the body's ability to produce and manage energy has changed. I remember a period in my early 70s when I felt like my battery was always half empty. I would wake up, drink my coffee, and still feel tired. I thought maybe this was simply what getting older felt like, but I realized something important. My body was not asking me to give up. It was asking me to change my habits. I started moving more consistently. I spent time outdoors. I improved my sleep routine. I paid more attention to the foods I was eating. Slowly, my energy improved. Getting older does not mean your body stops responding. It means your body responds differently, and that is a lesson many of us need to understand. The years between 65 and 75 are not about fighting your age. They are about learning how to work with your changing body. And my friends, there are still 3 more challenges I want to share with you. These next ones are especially important because they affect how long we stay independent, how quickly we recover from difficulties, and how we experience the later chapters of our lives. I'll continue with those in the next part because I want to give each one the attention it deserves. Now, my friends, let's continue with the 4th challenge that many people face between 65 and 75 years old. This is something I did not fully understand when I was younger, but as I grew older, I realized it affects almost everything about the way we experience life. The 4th challenge is the growing impact of chronic stress and inflammation inside the body. When we hear the word stress, many of us think about obvious things: financial worries, family problems, difficult situations, or major life changes. But as we age, there is another type of stress that happens quietly inside us. It is the stress created by years of poor sleep, unhealthy habits, lack of movement, loneliness, and the body's slower ability to repair itself. For many years, our bodies are very good at fixing damage. We can have a bad week, lose sleep, eat poorly for a while, and eventually bounce back. But as we move through our late 60s and early 70s, that recovery process becomes slower. The body starts asking us for more care and attention. I learned this lesson after my 71st birthday. I remember having a few weeks where I was not sleeping well. I was not exercising regularly, and I was carrying some worries that I had ignored for too long. Nothing dramatic happened, but I noticed small changes. I felt more tired. My mood was different. My motivation was lower. At first I thought, well, this is just what happens when you get older. But I was wrong. Getting older means you have to become more intentional. You cannot treat your body like you did when you were 40 and expect the same results. One of the best decisions I made was simplifying my lifestyle. I started eating more natural foods. I spent more time walking outside. I protected my sleep. I stopped allowing small problems to take up all my emotional energy. And something surprising happened. I began feeling younger, not because my age changed, but because I removed some of the things that were quietly draining me. My friends, we cannot control every part of aging, but we can influence the environment we create inside our own bodies. The 5th challenge is one that I believe many older adults underestimate: the shrinking recovery window. This is something I wish more people talked about. When we were young, our bodies were incredibly forgiving. You could stay up late, recover from illness quickly, skip exercise for weeks, and somehow return to normal. Your body had a large reserve. But after 65, the distance between a small problem and a major setback becomes much shorter. A simple infection can take longer to recover from. A few weeks of inactivity can lead to noticeable weakness. A fall that seems minor can change your confidence and your independence. I saw this happen to a friend named George. He was 74 years old and always considered himself strong. One winter, he caught a bad cold and stayed in bed for nearly 2 weeks. He thought he was doing the right thing by resting completely. But after those 2 weeks, he noticed something frightening. Walking up the stairs became harder. His legs felt weaker. He had lost confidence in his own body. The illness was not the biggest problem. The biggest problem was what happened afterward. He spent too much time inactive and his body lost momentum. This taught me an important lesson. Recovery is not just about resting. Recovery is about gently rebuilding. When you experience illness or an injury, listen to your doctors and respect your limits. But do not give up movement completely if you are safely able to move. Even small walks, simple exercises, and daily routines can remind your body that it is still needed. Your body is always listening to the messages you send it. If you tell your body, there is no reason to be strong anymore, it will slowly adapt to that message. But if you tell your body, I still have a life to live, it will continue working with you. And now we arrive at the 6th and final challenge. This one may be the most important because it connects everything we have talked about today. The 6th challenge is maintaining resilience, the ability to adapt, recover, and continue moving forward when life changes. I have learned something after 8 decades on this earth. Life does not become easier as we age. We still face loss. We still face uncertainty. We still experience changes we did not choose. But the people who age well are not the people who avoid every difficulty. They are the people who build the strength to handle difficulty. Resilience is not just physical strength. It is having a mind that stays curious. It is having relationships that give you support. It is having habits that protect your health. It is knowing that your value does not disappear because your circumstances change. I have met people in their 80s who are more alive than people half their age. They are not young because they have perfect health. Nobody does. They are young because they continue participating in life. They learn. They connect. They move. They contribute. One woman I knew, Margaret, was in her 70s when she lost her husband of 50 years. Many people expected her to disappear into loneliness. Instead, she decided she would honor her husband by continuing to live fully. She joined a walking group. She started helping children at a local school. She learned how to use technology to stay connected with her grandchildren. She told me, I cannot choose everything that happens to me, but I can choose how I respond. That sentence describes resilience better than any scientific definition. My friends, if you are between 65 and 75, I want you to understand something important. These years are not the end of your story. They are a transition into a different kind of life. Yes, your body changes. Yes, some things become harder. Yes, you need more wisdom and discipline than before. But you also have something you did not have when you were younger. You have experience. You know what matters. You know which problems are worth your energy and which ones are not. You know that time is precious. So if there is one message I hope you remember from our conversation today, it is this. Do not simply grow older. Grow wiser. Protect your strength. Give your days purpose. Take care of your body. Stay connected with people who bring light into your life. Keep learning, keep moving, keep showing up. The years between 65 and 75 can be challenging, but they can also become some of the most meaningful years you will ever experience. Because this is the time when you stop living only for responsibilities and start living with deeper awareness. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I truly appreciate you sitting here, listening to my story, and sharing this moment together. If something I said today connected with you, I would love to hear from you. Tell me your age and one thing you are doing to take better care of yourself in this chapter of life. Your stories matter, and they may inspire someone else who is watching. Please take care of yourself, keep your heart open, and remember that every morning you wake up is another opportunity to live well. Thank you again for being here with me. I wish you health, peace, strength, and many beautiful days ahead. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, my friends.